What's up, world? Coach Summit coming at you here with the Temple of Health. You guys are the first to have the unveiling of some new content, some new material, and I just want to say thank you for all your support. This series is today's a mini series, but it's a series of how we integrate a holistic practice outside of just the norm of what I've been teaching you guys from just fitness and nutrition. But you all know that I've always taken a global approach. And so one of those approaches today is more on the emotional well-being and how these tendencies and behaviors that we do get either A, locked up inside us, or B, they tend to create certain behavioral patterns. And sometimes these things can block us from getting the goals that we want. And so today, we're going to talk about a state of joy and happiness and how to attain these certain things. It's super, super important to pay attention to this form of health because at the end of the day, we move and groove and we do these things so that we can look good, feel good, and be a better pillar for others. But let's talk about ourselves, our inner work, and how we can further pursue this. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and let's see. Okay, let's begin. All right, got a little ahead of myself here, but there we go. Okay, so we're talking real health, the fastest way. What are the core values for me? Once again, thank you, and let's continue with the presentation here. All right, so step one is essentially a state of joy. Um, Joy is like the backdrop. It's the sky and the cloud. The clouds are kind of like happiness, and then the sky is like joy. It's a state of being. And so the first thing we ask ourselves is, what is happy making for me? And the reality of adult life is that your yes has no value until you say no. And what I'm saying is that before we give ourselves to the world, to the community, we must come correct first and understand what is it for myself that I actually enjoy that maybe others will at some point. But before we even add the we concept into it, we have to understand the I, the me principle. What are things that I truly enjoy? What are things that I like to get involved with? What doesn't work for me? Do I always rely on activities to get me happy, or can I be happy in my own personal quiet time? What makes me happy? What gets my emotions enthralled and alive and going after it? What's that charismatic enigma? So it means to grasp your personal happiness. You need to cultivate these core values. And before that, you must learn how to say no and establish the relationship with I. The whole goal of this is being honest with yourself. And usually then in lies the problem. And this is, you see, I got this little roadmap here. The roadmap to your happiness and to your joy is the key with it is honesty within thyself. And the reason why I start with this metric is because you guys have all already heard me talk about fitness many, many times. And maybe I've spoken about certain things in little quotes and mantras, but I really want to start getting at the actual antithesis of how one can be happy, healthy in a myriad of ways, not just push-ups, squats, eat good, don't eat this, sleep better. It's too lazy. And so we want to get deeper into this. So let's keep it going. Question two is, what is my dream life? How can I effectively begin my journey to what I love doing? And can I earn a living with this as well? Like, look, one thing I'm picking up on these days, guys, is that like what you love to do, you better start doing it because you're gonna see other people doing it. I'll tell you that right now. Let me change this. Yeah, you're gonna see other people doing it, right? So, like for example, you wanna cook, you go cook. You wanna be the chef of your own show, be Emerald Lagasse, bam, you do it. That's you. That's why I got the heart at the epicenter. You wanna coach and guide people to their target dream? Okay, you do that. Is traveling your passion? By all means, you want to boogie till you oogie till you can't no more and move and groove, like make it happen. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be the guy or the gal who is at the end of the day watching other people do what they love to do, and you're there on the bench. No, no, we're not doing this. No. And so this is an assignment that I want you all to do. This whole entire presentation is an assignment. Please get back to me by answering these questions as well and giving me some more inner thought. Okay? Don't just look at this and read this and listen to it and then just please give me some feedback and please answer as well. You see, I got this crossroads here. It's done on purpose the way I have it set up. Sensation and thinking, feeling and intuition, and they also kind of cross each other like an X as well. Our thinking attitude is in a sense of where we kind of all are. We're thinking a lot these days and we're not really giving the action. However, thinking is something that begins with our process of thought. And then next, it goes into kind of like a feeling. And that feeling almost makes it real in a sense, where we give emotional value to something. And then the intuition, feeling and intuition are kind of in the feminine principles, so to speak. And we want to understand that when you have the intuitive thought, that kind of makes it possible. And then we have sensation. The sensation is once again that feeling, but maybe more of like, oh, okay, this is real. Like I can feel the sensation of my skin touching. I can feel the sensation of me drinking this water. Cheers. So going through these motions, we have to ask ourselves, yeah, what is my dream life? And what are things that I can start doing today, right now, little by little, to just get there? Um, it's anything that really floats your boat, but you have to understand that you are deserving of it, and why not? Why should you be, in essence, doing things outside of the fact of what you love to do? And that's something we're actually going to get up on the next slide. So what are your goals? And we go about it in three different ways. Goal setting, you'll see right here, I have is a skill. It is a skill. And the reason why I talk about, having sensation, intuition, thinking, and feeling is because those are kind of the quadrants that we're going to need as individuals who who want to find our personal happiness. And the reason for this is because goal setting being a skill is that it's an ability that must be honed in and practiced on. You have to understand that, are you just doing goals that were set on you by parents, by social norms? Or are you doing goals because this kind of just looks like the right thing to do? What is the goal that you're actually setting? And once you get past the layer of like societal means and you figure it out for yourself, you ask yourself these questions. What's life after those goals? What's life after achievement? You want to get big body, big traps, big strong arms. The girls want the big booty. Like, what is life after that? Did you ever think about those things? You want to win this competition for bodybuilding or strongman? Okay, well, what's life after those goals? Like, is that it? Is that all you're going to become? Are you truly content with that? The other thing is, what are we actually asking for, right? So what are the sacrifices that come with that? It's truly, truly important, because goals are huge. Goals are something that give us kind of an image of where we want to be for an end result. Now, when I put that into context, it also understands that like we give ourselves, or if we don't sacrifice for the goals, then the goals become the sacrifice. And so we have to really, really figure that out. That this is why goal setting is such a skill. It's not as easy as saying, I want this. No, the actions that you do and the character that you must embody to get to that goal is essentially what we're looking for. When all else fails or you have a mental block, rely on the quadrants. Think about the emotional consciousness. Think about the spiritual consciousness. Rely on sensation, intuition, thinking. Use the power of your mind, okay? Use the power of your mind. Guys, like I said, remember, all of this is homework, so I want to see some real good responses. You can do this via email, via text, doesn't matter. We go to our next one here. Are you out of control? what's going on, right? If you are one of those people who maybe you just don't know, right? What is your personal happiness? And I've asked people these goals, these things all the time, their goals, and what is it that they want to do? I think that personally, if you have not figured out your goals and you're kind of just a hamster on a wheel, there is an addiction to patterns and there could be a loss of identity. And so this is something I think that's very, very, very seldom spoken about. When you really peel back at certain layers and do that work to pay attention to what you're doing and you feel like you're actually going in loop-de-loops and it ain't getting you anywhere, that's probably because you have a loss of identity. And if you keep doing the same things and it doesn't serve you, but it's serving somebody else's big picture and your cup isn't full, your spirit isn't nourished, we got some problems. And so anything that truly is not gearing you or aligning you to what you love to do, I mean, what's the reverse of it? We're probably going to be dealing with anxiety or we're probably going to be dealing with depression. And the other day, I was saying like it's just like if you're going to be in a depressed state and you choose to do these things, then that once again becomes an addiction to some degree. That becomes a pattern, you know? So don't self-induce that upon yourself if you don't have it. This is why we have to look at intuition, which for possibilities. We have to look at what we have value on, what emotional values do we have. Be brave. Be brave. In this world, following what you love to do takes bravery. Unfortunately, that's kind of like a norm to be big, bold, and brash to get out of the societal means, but it isn't impossible. It's not. So once again, I am deserving. I am deserving. Tell yourself that you can go after your goals. Tell yourself that you are those things and more. I like this little 3-point here. My first one is stay on Faith Street and wait for the mail to come. We've spoken about emotional value. And the reason for that is because when you stay on Faith Street, you ask for what you want. You must wait for it to receive. And you have value based upon these wants. And you got to do the work. You got to do the work. That work looks different for everybody, however the steps are, however big it may be, okay? We're talking about health here. And one of the things that I think a clear definition could be, or an all-encompassing definition is, health is the willingness to engage your mind and body in a process of creation and living your dreams. I like this one a lot because you gotta have a functioning mind and a functioning body to really get after it. And not only are you healthy enough to create, but you're healthy enough to live it. Right? Creation is amazing. We can do it, but are you healthy enough to live it? Can you live it fully and thoroughly? Can you respond? Can you be in that state of joy? And so this is the little 3-part metric here that I really enjoy. You really got to do the work, but as you're doing the work, have the faith. As you have the faith, do the work, and don't forget the value that you have installed in it. All right, well, one of our last ones here. Clairvoyance, crystal clear clairvoyance. I'm gonna start off with this one over here. R&R. R&R doesn't really mean rest and relax as people think. This actually means responsibility in relationships. It means that when you're going for your happiness, once you've gotten the establishment of I, or even in the process of doing it, you have to have a responsibility to let people know in an authentic way, not in an aggressive way. Hey, I'm working on me. Right now, I don't have time for this. Maybe you're saying no to something that you're not prepared for, or maybe you're saying yes to something that you're prepared for. But in all responsibilities, in all relationships that we have, there's responsibilities in it. Cherish thyself, cherish your own. I think with clairvoyance comes clarity of mind, and it also comes with respects to who has been there in the beginning and what do we already have, what we were born with, what do we have? Do we have family? Do we have a house, a roof, water? Do we have loved ones? Do we have the ability to speak, talk, communicate? Cherish some of the basic things that truly are not even thought of these days. Um, there's a quote somewhere And I forgot what, I think it was by Carl Jung. And Carl Jung says that it's hard to think, therefore people just judge. And I believe that when you make a list of what you cherish, it really makes you think about what others may not have and what you have personally to be joyful for. Don't forget to make connections. Connections are super, super important. This goes to the I, we all principle and how you look at yourself in your mind's eye, the way you view yourself. Who are you when you're happy? What does that look like? What does that embody? What kind of energy does that pull and even give back to the world, you know? View your cycles. There's a little tidbit over here. View your cycles. The moment you get into a cycle of behavioral patterns that does not agree with you is the moment you have an issue. All right. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with it. And here's something that just kind of throws it off putting. Give away. Sometimes we have to give ourselves to something in order for it to give back. And sometimes we just give without ever expecting to receive. And that's usually how things should be. Never do anything because you're going to be gaining something from someone. You do something because you have a connection with this. You have a resonance with this, okay? Super, super important because happiness can be taken away very quickly, right? This is why we have a relationship with what this state of giving away can be. This is why all these other things encompass it very well. All right, we're wrapping it up, team. This is the final slide. I want to give you all a big thank you. I truly hope that you enjoyed this slide, this little presentation, because there's so much more to come with it. This is a little mini tidbit, a little taste of more things to come, and not even of this topic. I got the mountain here because mountains are huge for me. I love mountains. It's life is a series of peaks and valleys. We're constantly climbing it, right? So check out the templeofhealth.com. We're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Please share, like, and subscribe. The ethos of this is to put the forefront of holistic health authentically and gratefully, because I truly believe in this magic. I truly believe in the putting in the work for self. I believe that the human body can thrive under all conditions, and that we're more than just meets the eye. We're more than what the norm is these days, you know? If there's anything that you wish to be covered, please let us know. Let me know. We specialize in nourishing the human body and spirit. We cultivate so many different practices with herbs, posture, training, gut health, hormonal health, all these things. Okay, so it's not just training. Please ask any questions away in regards to health. Okay, we got your back. Both myself and Jade Elise are always going to be working hand in hand with how we can provide the best service for you guys, okay? So you can email us at templeofhealth@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or concerns, okay? We also got online class memberships that are also live here at the Temple of Health, online as well. You can check that out on the website. Nutritional courses and small group settings that come with that. And any other material that you want to wish to look at, we always have a free blog as well. Stay tuned. We got workshops coming up. We just unveiled our calendar, so you can always keep up to date with what we got going on. Follow the hero's journey, team. Yeah, here we go. Follow the hero's journey. The hero's journey is truly you being brave. And don't forget to work out, guys. Trust your journey. Don't forget to train. Most important. Let's create. Let's have a good day. Stay joyful, stay blessed, stay peace. I truly, truly hope that you enjoyed this, and I'd love to hear back from you, okay? Do the homework.